function, that also you have to define. After that, parameter, what are that whether that parameters are inputting purpose or outputting purpose also you have to define in the function. And a return statement, after return statement write the return data type also. In as, is as, not sorry, in it's not the is, and after that you can write it is as anyone. And after that you can write the begin statement. Begin is the keyword, in that one you can write the body, and finally end statement, right? So that is the syntax to creating the functions in PL SQL, right? Yes. Next, see the example. Here we have a simple example. What is the purpose of this example means to finding the addition of two numbers simply by using the function, that's it. Addition only, two numbers addition, but the concept to implementing the function, that is important here. Without this function also you can write the program, but here program is not important, the way of writing the function is important. So you have to concentrate it on the function, don't see the program, see the function, right? So here the intention of program is, I think already you understand that what is that intention of the program, to find the addition of two numbers by using function concept, that is important, right? So here the two numbers we are taken here, n1 and n2, both are numbers, so integer numbers. See that first line, create or replace, it's not compulsory replace, function adder, the name is adder, or you can take any name which is meaningful to the program, which I have told you before this one, right? So n1 is one variable. For purpose also you have to mention, right? In the syntax is there no in or out, right? That also you have to mention here. So n1 in means for storing the value, taking input. N2 is also in some integer value. A return, after executed, finally what it returns, again the number. Number is the data type, not the variable. So finally it returns the again number data type. Is n3, so where you can store that after addition means in n3, so that we are taking that one variable also n3, right? See in this one, begin n3 is equal to n1 plus n2, return n3, that's it. Immediately it returns after finding that sum, whatever the value you are passing into that one n1 n2, that stores the values and returns the n3 value, right? Okay, this is the function definition only, but you have to call this one function, otherwise that is not executed. So if you are declared a function in the program, you have to call it that the program also compulsory in main part, right? See in this one, main part is right. So now write another program to call this function, that is one program is completed. Next, in another program we use that function, right? So in next program we are taken like this, n3 number 2 begin, right? So n3 is equal to adder 11 comma 22. So whenever you are written that n3 is equal to adder 11 comma 22, immediately 11 is assigned in n1, 22 is assigned in n2. So that order function will be called, that is there in another program, no, that function will be called automatically, the Oracle engine will call that function. First value is assigned in n1, the second value 22 is there now, so that is assigned in n2. So after assigning, it passes into the function. So what it is there in the function, n3 is equal to n1 plus n2, so it is the input values. So because of your written n1 in now, so 11 is assigned n1, 12 is 22 is assigned n2. So after that begin, n3 is equal to 11 plus 22. So what is the value, 11 plus 22, 33. Return 33. 33 is returned n3, that is assigned in again n3. dbms dot output line is there now. In that one, what you are written, addition is concatenation symbol n3. Addition is what is value addition after addition is entry value 33 now, that you will get the output. Simply after executed, what you will get output? Addition is 33. That's it. So this function you can use any number of programs. See this, that is excellent advantage of this function. So write that function in, say, suppose you have written that function in the same program, you have to use that function within that program only. Other programs are, it is not possible to use the function. But in PLSQL, that function can be used to other program like as other programming languages in PLSQL also, right? Yes. So we have written that function in one program. The purpose of that function we are using in another program. Like that, any number of programs also you can use that same function. So this is advantage of what is that function. So by using this function, you can reduce the length of the program, or you can divide the program into blocks, and you can remove the complexity of program. That are the some advantages, right? And see that, yes, here adder is the function that you have to call, otherwise that adder function is not executed. So when you are returning a function, you have to call, otherwise it's not executed. Already you know that. But here a one special function is the recursion function. Yes, recursion function, once just to call the function, you automatically the second time onwards that function will be called itself. That is function is known as recursive function. So the function calls itself is called as recursion. So whenever the function calls itself without calling you, that is function is known as recursion, right? So very simple. Recursion means calling itself. No need to call to each and every time the user. Just first time just call it. From the second time onwards, the Oracle engine will be calls automatically. Whenever that function calls itself is called as, what is that? Recursion, right? Yes. How to use the recursion? Just here we have one example for recursion to finding the factorial. I think factorial of a given number, right? So already you know that all because of we are all on mathematics background now. So factorial means 4 factorial means 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. 5 factorial means 1 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, or 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That is factorial. Okay, so that you have to find, declare number, right? One variable for number. For finding the factorial purpose, we have taken another variable factorial function, right? So here the function name is fact. Previous and this program is different. Here we are declared that return and used the function in that program only. But in the previous, we have written that function in separate program. We have used that function in another program. That is different. But this is different. So in itself in the program we are defined, we are declared and used that function. So declare number 3 factorial function fact. So the function name is fact. In that we have used that one variable x, return number. Finally it also returns the data type. What is the type value it returns? Again number data type value only. After executed, that value is returned, right? Is f number. If x is equal to 0, then f is equal to 1, else f is equal to x into factorial x minus 1, right? So here suppose, see this in begin, after end you are written that begin now. So after declaration of the function, second begin is there. In that number value is what is value in number? 6. After that factorial is equal to fact num, means num is 6 now. That is replaced, that value is assigned into x, right? So if x is equal to 0, let's come to that one begin in the function fact. X is equal to, what is the value here? NUM value is copied in x. So x value is again 6. If x is equal to 0, it's not a true. So immediately it returns end, or it enter into that else. F is equal to 6 into fact 6 minus 1 means 6 into 6 minus 1 means 5. Again that fact value is called, now x value is 5, then again it enter the x is equal to 0 false, else previously 6 is there, no, so that will be the same. Again 6 into 5 into 5 minus 1 means 4. So now its value is 4, x value, again it enter the else, then 6 into 5 into 4, like that 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. After that it satisfies the value 0, then f value is finally 1 minus 1. After that 0 will be there now. So if 0 is condition true, then it returns 1. So you will get that 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 1 multiplication. It means 720. 720 is returned, right? So if you are written that f, now f is the data type already you are defined in that function itself, return number, so that value is returned. So finally factorial is equal to, what is the value? 720. So after that you are written that dbms output dot put line factorial 6 is 720, right? So that is the program. So here where it is there, the recursion means in that else part, see that x into factorial x minus 1, once first from second begin just we called one time only, again that second time onwards that will be called itself. That is concept is known as recursion. So finally what I'm telling here is recursion is nothing but the function calls itself whenever that will be called itself without programmer interaction or without the program initiation. Whenever that is called automatically function, that function is known as recursion. It is also known as the function calls itself is called as recursion, right? Yes. So this is that, what are the normal function and function types, recursion function, right? So these are that, what are that functions. So generally we can use in PLSQL, right? Next, another small concept that we'll try to finish. I think you are understood that functions. Okay, so once again I will tell that functions are two types actually: user defined, predefined. The function which definition is already there, it is called as predefined or built-in. User must be can write and define about to solving a task is user defined. That function you can write in separate program or in the program also. So if you have written that function in separate program, that can be used to in another any number of programs. So that is one thing. And second one is a recursive function. Yes, the function calls itself is called as the recursion. When first time just only you have to call that function, from next time onwards the compiler will be called automatically. So it means that function will be calls their self only, means it is called as itself only. The function will be called that function only, it is called as itself. The function calls itself is called as recursion, right? Yes. Next, that we have completed. Next we will see this exception handling, right? An error occurs during the program execution is called exception, right? So PLSQL facilitates programmer to catch such conditions using exceptions block in the program, and appropriate action is taken against that error condition. There are two exceptions: system defined exception, user defined exception, right? So what is this one exception means? Simply, exception is nothing but an error. Yes, I will give that one example. So if you are occurred, or if you are having any error in the middle of the program, and the above the program is right, the below program is right, but one line is wrong, but instead of that one line, entire the program will be not executed. But if you handled that error, remaining code, if you want to execute, you can execute. That is catching the error if it is occurred in the program, is known as exception handling, right? So you can catch and take the appropriate action for that error. So if you are catching and taking the appropriate actions against that error, then the other code is executed, and that code is also executed. So that is excellent use in PLSQL. That is concept is known as exception handling. Means handling the errors. Just to catch and take appropriate actions against that error. Then until unless ending until unless not executing the program, if you are do like this, the program will be executed. If it may be chance, it may be there in error also. So that is one. What are the exceptions? So in PLSQL, we have the two types: system defined exceptions, user defined exception. Syntax for exception handling. Following is a general syntax for exception handling: declare, section, begin, executable commands, exception. Exception handling goes here when exception 1, then take the action. When exception 2 is occurred, again take the action. Like that, you can write or you can take the actions. Right. It's very simple in PLSQL. Exceptions can be handled. Two types of exceptions. It may be system is generated exception, or user program syntax is wrong also, you will get that error. So if you are written wrong, that is also an error. If the system is generated any exception, that so if the system is generated exceptions, that errors are known as system defined exceptions. So if you have written anything wrong in the program, that exceptions are known as user defined exceptions. So there are two types, but general syntax for handling that exceptions: declare, just write in the keyword declare, in that write the declaration section, and after that write begin, executable commands, what the action, what are the commands you want to execute. Then after that, for handling exception, you can use this like this: exception keyword, write exception handling goes here, right? That is when you want to occur any exception, it checks and handles that exception in when and what action you want to take, that you have to write after the then. Like that, any number of when, any number of exceptions also, because of you don't know that what is that type of exception, so that you can write that more than one. And finally end. So this is the way to handling that, what is that, exception, right? So this the way to handle the exception. Okay, so is it clear? So exception means, right, small concept of exception. Exception is nothing but error. The errors may be system defined error, user defined error. So user defined error means the programmer, if you have written anything wrong, that is user defined errors. So if the system is generated an error, sometimes the system may be also generate the errors. So user defined errors means simply logical errors, right? So system defined error. Yes, that you can define what are that exceptions, right? Just a minute, scrolling that. Okay, assignment, this is already we have completed. Yes, now today we have completed this PLSQL functions, recursive function, exception handling. Okay na? So the exceptions means the errors, that errors we can handle like this. Declare and write the declaration section, begin, in that write that executable commands, exception, write in that exception keyboard, write exception handling, when exception 1, then exception, already I think already I explained this. So exceptions how many types? 2 types now. So system defined and user defined exceptions, right? So this we have completed in this session 3 topics. Yes, now I will give the time to take this screenshots. Yes, recursive function, this PLSQL function. And last one is exception handling, right? Yes, in next class we will try to take that triggers, cursors. Yes, how many topics in this one? Subprograms, packages. Yes, so subprograms, packages are small concepts are there. Yes, main important in next class is triggers and cursors. Just we have totally remaining is 4 concepts is there in this one unit. Okay, yes, that unit is for that concepts are triggers, cursors, subprograms, and last one is packages, right? So totally 12 topics are there in this one second unit, second chapter, that is advanced SQL, right? So I think PLSQL function is the 9th sorry, it's not the 9th. So PLSQL function is the 7th one topic, 8th one is 7th one is the recursion, 6th one PLSQL, because recursion is also the part of PLSQL function only. Yes, 8th one is exception handling, 9th concept is triggers. Triggers are very very useful, and this is very important for theory examination also, right? So this just I will give the brief introduction about the triggers, where we have to use these triggers, right? So triggers can be used to are used for security purpose. By using this you can maintain some part of the security, right? So triggers are stored programs. Ante it means when you are attached a trigger with the table, when you are touched the table, immediately first it executed the trigger, right? So if you are having the trigger with the program or with the table, so you can attach this trigger with table either before or after exiting also it invoked, or before the exiting before executing the table transaction also you can use this trigger, right? For that security purpose, what you have to write in the trigger means asking about that the user, then you can know after what he did that operations and who did that operations, what he was changed in the program, that you can know by using this trigger. This will be invoked automatically without calling to this funnel. It triggered automatically, right? So that is excellent advantage is there by using that trigger, that we'll discuss in next class, right? Okay, so in next class we'll see that how to create this trigger, what the advantages of triggers, and cursors is also there, that we'll see in next, right? Now I'm ending this session.